Is Aaron Rodgers back?
Hell no, because he never went anywhere. He been there for
Really?
years. Yeah,
Oh,
he
I
been
must have been watching. I got to get my TV.
For what?
I got to buy a new one.
Stop it, Skip Bayless. He's still the most gifted thrower of the football that we have in the game. And guess what? He's doing it without Devontae. Because I know a guy that when he doesn't have Amari Cooper, I ain't saying nobody's name, when he doesn't have Amari Cooper, he looks very pedestrian, very mundane. But that's none of my, I don't even know why I brought that up. We talked about
bunch of good
Skip,
young
receivers. It's my turn to talk. Skip, Skip, look. Rodgers is doing what is required to win the game. If you look at him, Skip, there are games that his defense is playing unbelievable. They're running the football. Rodgers does not get in the way. I think the mark of a really great quarterback is to understand, yes, I'm great. I've won MVP. I've won Super Bowls. But today does not require me to be that. Tom Brady's a prime example. Tom Brady, 1 year throws for 500 yards in the Super Bowl, and then the next year he barely cracks 200, but they win. He understands. Today is not the day I need to be Tom Terrific. Today, I need to be Tom the game manager. Stay out of the way. Sonny Michel, Rex Burkhead. Do what you do. That's what the great ones can do, Skip. It reminds me of John Elway. John Elway was great before TD got there. But at times, he understood TD, bring it home. But when teams said, you know what, today, we are not going to let Terrell Davis run the football. And that's when old John Elway said, hey, 84.
Who brought it home in last year's Super Bowl?
Oh,
who went 5 for 5 in the game-deciding drive, game-winning drive?
The man had a 26 QBR rating.
Okay.
A 26.
But who brought it home?
I just get to Skip. Don't do that.
Man.
Sonny Michel went over 100 yards.
Oh.
They led the playoffs. Who led the playoffs in rush last year, Skip?
New England.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is that Aaron Rodgers understands, and I told you this, Skip, there will come a time that his defense is not going to hold people to 10 points every game. The running game is not going to be able to go for $175 every game. And it's going to require Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers, the transcendent figure we know him to be. And yesterday he was that. Did you see the throw to Aaron Jones? Did you see the throw up the rail to Kumar? Skip, those throws that he still made. I'm talking about, Skip, no stepping into the throws, no none of this. I'm talking about just flicking.
Terrible footwork.
No, just Skip, don't do this.
Sideways.
Skip.
I don't know.
Stop it.
Any other coaches say, Aaron, you can't do that.
Skip, don't do that. Today is not the day to criticize. Any other day I would have allowed you to do that. And then he had a drop. So really, theoretically, he was supposed to, be something like, because the guy, Lazar, dropped one that he shouldn't have dropped. A perfect QBR rating, Skip. 5 TD passes, another one rushing. I think they said that the last time that happened was Mark Rippon back in 91, if I'm not mistaken. So you got to go back a long, long time since we've seen someone do what we saw yesterday. Skip, Aaron Rodgers hadn't gone anywhere. His services just has not been required to this point.
Boy, he took 4 years off. I don't know what happened. Did he just take the last 2 years off when they missed the playoffs?
Skip.
Services not required. I don't know.
Skip, he was injured. He broke his collarbone. And you saw the first game last year when he hurt his knee. He hurt his knee. And
But he kept playing, and Shannon Sharpe tells me no excuses if you walk on the football field.
I want you to remember that.
Yep.
I want you to remember that when you talk about Amari Cooper. I want you to remember that. I would have that same energy.
Yep.
But Skip, he hadn't gone anywhere. He showed you yesterday what he's more than capable of, and he still is talented. And guess what, Skip Bayless? I don't know if you noticed this. He back in it. That old MVP race, he's in it.
Oh, is he? Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really? He's in the MVP race?
Yeah.
I got to get a TV
Yeah,
now.
you better well get you a new one.
I don't know. Mine must be showing the Twilight Zone because you're in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna call. You know what? I'm gonna call my TV guy Roy and have him drop one off. He got one of them old 4K.
Really?
Oh yeah, them old LEDs. I'm gonna have him drop one off for you.
How nice of you.
First of all, I just got to make one quick point before we move on. I am offended that you put Aaron Rodgers in the same sentence with Tom Brady, but that's just me.
There you go.
We're going to get struck by lightning.
No, we're not getting struck by that.
Come right through the ceiling.
Don't want any of that.
And I hope it hits you more than it hits me because I didn't mean it. I didn't do it. It was his fault.
You did.
Yeah. I will give you, yesterday was a blast from the past for Aaron Rodgers. I will give you that he had a hot day, in large part because his line protected him like the fragile old man that he is becoming. And by the way, his new coach called him an old man in the locker room when he presented him the game ball. The old man. The old man ran for a touchdown.
Hey, hearing what the media's been saying, mainly led by you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So I'm going to give you that he only got sacked one time, and it was a coverage sack on which he looked for a receiver for, 7 or 8 minutes before they finally dragged him down from behind, and that was it. That's how well he was protected by a line that I think you believe is the best pass-protecting line in football.
One of them.
It's up there, right?
Them and Indy.
Them and Indy, but these guys are really good at pass protecting.
Those tackles are as good as they got. They're good as they're good.
So I'm going to remind everybody who's probably forgotten because we're all prisoners of yesterday's moment, except for me. But over the first 6 games, Aaron Rodgers, speaking of QBR, had a QBR average of 51. That's on a scale of 0 to 100. Yes. So I believe, if memory serves, that ranked 18th in the league. He was 18th in the league with a 51. So he had a really hot day with the high 90s, 97 QBR. So that vaulted him clear up from 18th all the way to 9th in QBR. What? So, wait a second. Dak Prescott is still first in the whole NFL in QBR. Yeah. Did you believe that? I don't know how it happened, but through 7 games, Dak is number 1. And by the way, Kyler Murray, we're about to talk about him. Yes. He's 8th. He ranks 8th in QBR. Right. And I'm going to give you this. Aaron has vaulted off one hot day all the way up to 9.
Oh, one hot day.
But I'm going to remind you, through the first 6 games, his completion percentage ranked 24th in the league, and his yards per attempt ranked 18th. So those aren't exactly MVP setting the world on fire numbers. And his throwaways through the first 6 games ranked number 1 because he just sets the record every year. Because if he doesn't like what he sees, he just throws it in the 3rd row.
He's not going to put the ball in harm's way, nor should he.
Okay, so the problem the last 2 years, he wouldn't take any chances. Like sometimes there's a tight window, and if you're Aaron Rodgers, you got to throw it through that tight window and win the ball game. And he wouldn't even take the chance at throwing it through the tight window, which is why Mike McCarthy is now not working. That's what happened.
No, Mike McCarthy and I couldn't see eye to eye.
Okay. So I'm just going to remind you that all 4 of the last years, all 4 of the years that his QBR and completion percentage went down, down, down. And again, if you're going to give him the injury excuse last year, I'm not. But again, they missed the playoffs.
Was he not injured?
Well, I don't know. He looked fine to me. He looked
the man
fine.
had a knee brace on for the better.
4-6-1 as starter.
You saw the man have a knee brace on for the better part of half.
Well, I saw LeBron come to a post-game interview with
there you go.
Some kind of soft cast on his right hand.
I don't know. Stop, Skip.
You can put anything on that you want to. It's Halloween, like you can wear whatever costume you want to wear is fine with me.
Just for fun.
So I'm going to remind everybody also that Aaron Rodgers, on the final offensive play, second goal from 3-yard line with 28 seconds left against the Philadelphia Eagles at Lambeau on that Thursday night.
Yes.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
He completely failed to see little Darius Shepard, the rookie from North Dakota State, in the flat. Here it is again. You see Darius over there. He's just all alone. Aaron could have underhanded him the ball for the victory, and instead, 2 Eagles blow the coverage and go with Valdez-Scantling, who's not more than a yard past the line of scrimmage. And Aaron says, I think I'll force the ball to him, a la Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl. I'll force it here. And the ball gets popped up in the air, and it gets picked, and the game is over.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers cost the Packers a win that night, and he cost me a big win that I needed because I needed him to beat Philadelphia. Do you realize if he had made that throw to finish that game, that your team now would be 2-5, the Eagles? It was right on a silver platter. Here, Aaron, just underhand him the ball because he's just sitting over there all by his lonesome. And that's the guy you're making a case for as the new MVP candidate.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, Skip. And he had to be that yesterday because if you look at them in the red zone, the Raiders were 3 of 6. So just imagine, and remember Derek Carr, he fumbled one out of the end zone.
Could we see that? I just got to see it again because the game is a 14-10 Green Bay game at this point, late in the first half. And I think Oakland's going to seize the lead.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr
he got the
did
lead.
It again. He did this against Dallas last year. Derek, you have to actually hold on to the ball across the goal line. You can't throw it across.
Right.
Unless there's a new rule. I don't know. You can throw it across the goal line.
Not good.
If you notice, what's the one team you never see guys do that? The New England Patriots.
Aha.
You've never seen them do
Well,
that.
Tom Brady would never even try that.
You don't even, Skip, you don't even see their receivers, their running back. Because, look, if we can't get it in there from with 3 cracks or 2 cracks, we don't deserve to score. The ball is more important in our possession as opposed to going out of the back of the end zone. But can you imagine the day had he had? if the Raiders had scored there and he needs to get into a scoring match with Derek Carr, can you imagine the numbers?
Yep.
You're talking about maybe a 600-yard day.
Maybe. Is Khalil Mack still a Raider?
No,
he's not.
Don't do that. Well, that's John Gruden's fault. Talk about John Gruden. They ain't got nothing to do with that. All Aaron, like you tell me, all they can do is play who's on the schedule. And the Raiders were on the schedule. They came there, and Aaron put foots in them. Skip, at some point in time, just give a man credit for that day. We're not going to talk about, okay, last year they didn't make the playoffs. The year before they didn't make the playoffs. But just yesterday, talk about that virtuoso.
Well, that's all you got to hang on to is one day, because we see quarterbacks have hot days all the time in this league.
Not like this.
Not like this.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.